Hello and welcome to this episode of I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, where today I'm going to be talking about telling your kids what to do, not what not to do. So the big question is this: how are parents like us, who don't have a manual, who are doing the best we can, who feel as though we aren't enough, how are we going to raise healthy, happy children who we are proud of and still keep our sanity in that process? That's the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Ryan Roy, and welcome to I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, a podcast for parents who are being real with themselves. Hello, and welcome back to this episode of I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, where today I'm going to be talking about telling your kids what to do, not what not to do. First of all, it's fundamentally one of the most basic things that most parents don't do. Don't spill the milk. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't run in the house. Again, it's one of the chapters in my book. Don't tell them what to do. Don't tell them what not to do, but tell them what to do. So, for instance, you guys always, I love starting them this way, my podcasts. I like telling you what is the impetus for this thought in my head. If you don't know, and I don't think I've ever discussed this on the podcast, but I happen to be the co-president of the PTA at my son's school. We're in the middle of summer right now. I was a VP last year, and there's some activities going on at the school right now, such as registration, kindergarten registration, new parent or new student registration. So I'm over at the school promoting the PTA earlier today, and two things stood out for me, and it's so fundamental, and we don't know the damage we're doing when we say certain things to our children. So there's a mom who came in, started answering a few questions for her, directed her in the right place. She started asking where she could sign up for the PTA. I said we could do it today, or we'll also be at these other dates and these other events, and you'll have the opportunity there. I'm sure there's a lot on your plate today, and PTA is probably not one of those things that you would anticipate doing. She says, as her daughter's getting evaluated for school, for placement purposes and things, she says, she doesn't have any fear around this. I think the fear she's getting is from me. I'm telling her that, there's nothing to be scared of. And she goes, and I think saying that to her, now she's like, "Dad, Mommy, I'm a little scared about school." Well, you planted a seed to be scared. And then she says, well, I tell her, don't be scared. Well, you just told her there's nothing to be scared of. Scared? I wasn't even scared. Why should I be scared? Now I'm scared. Because she trusts you as her parent. And if your initial reaction is don't be scared, naturally, child's going to be scared. Now we're set up at the front of the school, right at the main door. But at the main door, as I imagine in most schools in this country these days, it's just not open. So although we're sitting there, people have to buzz themselves in. The front office has to give them permission to come in and ask why they're there. So another woman is ringing the bell. Maybe somebody stepped away from the office. So I decided to get up, and I said, oh, you must be new to the school. Sorry, nobody's at the front office. But yes, typically you did the right thing. You got to hit that buzzer. They'll let you in. But I can see you're here, and you're probably here for first day registration. She says, yeah. I said, welcome to the school. And she nudges her daughter from behind, and she says, go ahead, don't be scared. And the hairs on my back just stood up. And I thought to myself, why would she be scared? What is there to be scared of? You're going to school. So before they're even in the school, there's fear of school. Why not say, isn't this exciting? Look at this, how the nice man greeted us at the door. He let us know how things normally will be and apologized for him not to be there. This is going to be a great place, because look at how the first person ever acknowledged us with a smile and welcoming. But no, the response was a nudge in the back. Don't be scared. Let's go. Scared? Look, I don't know jack about parenting. But I know that if you have fear around anything, your greatest gift to your child would be not to instill that same fear. Did you hear me? If you have fear around something, your greatest gift to your child would to not be instilling that same fear. If you have a fear of flying, you should travel with your child and overcome that fear with them. And one day you'll say, Mommy or Daddy, just not fond of flying. I'm scared of it. But Mom, Dad, I flew with you. Yeah, I didn't want you to have that same fear. Mommy and Daddy has a fear of water, but you went in the pool with your children and splashed around and overcame that fear because you know it's an illogical fear. And you overcome it. My mother said that she had social anxiety, and I would have never known it. She told me when I was an adult. She goes, I don't like being in crowds and being amongst people. I'd much rather be by myself. My mom always worked the late shift, the graveyard shift, she said, because she didn't like being around other people. But yet my mom hosted parties, brought us to amusement parks, brought us to those things. She says, I hated every moment of it, but I didn't want you kids to have those same fears or social anxieties because I know they held me back in so many ways. I get up on stage and talk in front of hundreds of people. I create podcasts. I get on Facebook Lives and live streams on other platforms. And I believe that if my mom instilled in me her fears, I wouldn't be able to create this podcast for you today. One of the greatest gifts my mother gave me was not to instill the same social anxiety fear that she had by demonstrating that she didn't have it, at least to me and to my siblings. So I encourage you to focus on what your kids can do. They can get in an airplane, and so can you. You can go out into a crowd of people even though you don't like it and it may be uncomfortable, because true growth happens outside your comfort zone. If you're always doing the things that you're 100% familiar with and comfortable with, you're not getting outside your comfort zone. You're not growing. And if you're not growing, just like a tree, picture a tree that is growing year after year after year, and one day it stops growing. And the next year it doesn't grow again. You know what that tree is starting to do? It's starting to die. It's slowly starting to decay. It's not getting nutrients to grow and survive, and therefore it's dying. So if as a human being, you're not willing to get out of your comfort zone and do new things because you're comfortable, you may as well be dying because you're not growing. And when you're limiting people, you're limiting their growth. And when you're telling people not to do things as opposed to what to do, you're limiting their growth. And our children are so impressionable at such a young age, they hold on to every word that we say. So when we say no or we say don't, we're squashing their hopes and dreams. Tell your kids what they are capable of. Tell them what they can do. Encourage them when they want to do something new. I don't know jack about parenting, but I love it when somebody says, I believe you can, when I don't believe it myself. And because somebody else believes I can, and if it's someone close to me, I try that much harder and typically do. That's parenting success, in my opinion. And that's what I want for you. And that's why I continue to say these same things and these same lessons in different ways with different examples so that I can empower you to take those steps to empower your children. We'll see you in the next episode. Do you want to be the dad you wish you had? If so, go get my free book, Be the Dad You Wish You Had, at BeTheDadYouWishYouHad.com. Inside, you'll find my most effective 40 tips to quickly and easily transform yourself into the ideal dad. Go to BeTheDadYouWishYouHad.com now and get it while it's free.